evening. Let's get this going. I know you're all excited and interested. So I am Jeff Musin. I am UICA's Executive Director. I am also the Executive Director of ArtPrize. So I wanted to welcome you here. This is an amazing, amazing event that's happening, not only for West Michigan, but for the entire world. This is the only thing of its kind that's ever existed. And I really just wanted to take a minute to point out to you that this is intended and has been built to be a conversation. It's not something that is set in stone and it's only up to us to decide where it goes from here. It's really up to everybody, the entire community, and really people all over the world, because it is a platform designed to evolve along with the artistic community and for the artistic community, which is part of the beauty of it. And because of that, I hope that a lot of the ideas that come up over the next almost 5 months, you think about how big can it possibly be, and how can we connect artists and audiences and do things in new and interesting ways, and how can it benefit the artistic community, the educational community, the museum community, the nonprofit community, wherever you want it to go, you have that ability to develop ideas that can take it there. We're also very much looking for your feedback. So as this evolves over the summer and things develop, and there will always be new things posted on the website. You should keep an eye on that. It will be constantly changing. But feel free to submit your feedback, whether that's through one of the email addresses or any of the social media tools. That's really what this is designed to be. Like I said, it's a platform. The other thing I wanted to point out is that we have received, because we had time limitations tonight, we have a lot of questions. We've been collecting those questions. We've designed this presentation to answer as many of them as possible. We won't have time to really open this up to questions from everybody in the theater here. There will be time after we leave the theater to have some one-on-one conversations with myself and the rest of the team. And then, of course, you can ask questions through the website all summer long. So, like I said, it's designed for that dialogue to be happening. And with that, I think I'd like to introduce Rick DeVos, the guy who had this big, crazy idea. And
thank you. All right, so my job is to give kind of the overview of ArtPrize, and then I'll introduce the team, and they can get into some more of the details. The idea behind ArtPrize is really rebooting the conversation between artists and audiences on a really big scale. Most of you probably know kind of the tiers. First place, $250,000. Second place, $100,000. Third place, $50,000. And fourth through 10th place, $7,000 each. So, question is, what is ArtPrize? And there's some speculation out there about what it is. First of all, we're in the process of filing for our 501c3 nonprofit status. It's not a for-profit business. This is not a Rick DeVos, makes a lot of money off of artists sort of thing. As brilliant as that would be. That was supposed to be funny. It didn't really work, did it? It's not politically affiliated or motivated. There's a lot of conversation about that. And it is an annual event. So let me just address kind of something that has provoked a lot of discussion, not surprisingly, I might add. Is it bad to let the public vote? The first thing to think about is this is not a new debate. This extends all the way back to Gutenberg and the printing press and the breakdown then in the church hierarchy that came from there all the way up to Wikipedia today and everything else that's enabled by the net and always-on communication. That said, galleries, museums, juries, and professionals are good things, and we're not making any claim that ArtPrize is in any way superior to a juried show or anything like that. ArtPrize is just a new expression, trying some new techniques to create a new conversation. So let me kind of step you through why we decided to do public voting for this event. First of all, people are already voting, speaking to us as artists. They're voting with their pocketbooks, they're voting with their attention, their word of mouth, or the lack thereof. So ArtPrize is really just structuring that feedback in a more particular way that lets kind of a big event happen around it. Second, it's really a more interesting and meaningful way for people to speak about art with a real tangible result, i.e. choosing what the winner is. And because they have that tangible result, it gets a ton of attention and buy-in from the general public. We've seen it, the story about ArtPrize run in over 200 outlets all across the nation, the world. We just had something in the New York Times, a little blurb this weekend. So it's clearly getting attention, and it's because of that public participation aspect. But really at its core, voting and ArtPrize is about creating just a big incentive. And it's an incentive for a bunch of things. First of all, it's an incentive for you to get people out, educated and involved with your own art, but also with your friends' art. But it's also an incentive for all the people around you participating in it to do the same. And as a result, the entire system benefits. It's incentive for you to get organized on a bunch of different levels. So at the most individual level, it's organizing where you want to show your work. What's the best possible venue for you to make a statement? You know, do you want to do a collective piece of work? What does that look like? Oh. Ooh, that stinks. All right, you know, if you want to coordinate as a bunch of individuals in a coordinated space along a theme or some particular type of expression, it's an incentive to do that. And if you want to coordinate spaces into creating, you know, a whole bunch of different spaces into kind of a district, it's an incentive to do that. This kind of, I think, is a really interesting one. It's really a context with which to approach people in the community that you might not have otherwise had a dialogue with about art and about an arts event. Because people can understand, oh, the public selects it, you know, a bunch of people are going to be involved. Like, that's exciting to people that aren't necessarily always interested in your more traditional art events. So you can approach individuals to support your work, support your space. Businesses to host your work, your space. Go after buildings and spaces. You know, if you see a empty lot that would be the perfect spot to set up your sculpture, go after that landlord and do it. Existing arts organizations. This isn't. We're not trying to supplant any sort of existing groups. We're here to create kind of this blanket and this framework in which people and the existing arts organizations can create value. So how to vote, kind of the more specifics. Actually, we asked that no cameras be in the theater. Sorry. Just because it makes it all weird and stuff, I get weirded out. And I think other people do. So anyway, some of the more specifics about how to vote. You know, you're going to have to register in person. It's not like, you know, sign up with an email address from across the country and vote 50 times for, you know, whatever macrame fish, or I don't even know what I'm making that up, you think is the best. You're going to actually have to come to Grand Rapids, and word is already going out. There's lots of people there. We're getting all sorts of reports of, you know, I'm going to come and check this out. Each entry is going to have a unique ID number, which is going to be used for an SMS system for voting. So basically your mobile phone is going to be your remote control for ArtPrize. So you're going to vote primarily through your phone, or which I think is the ideal scenario, or if you need to, you can use the website. Because all these kind of reactions and votes are going to be flowing in real time, we can use all that data and push it back out to folks and let people know, like, where the big event was last night, like what piece of sculpture is really inspiring people over the past 48-hour time period.